on how do they do it. How do they avoid docking disaster when handling 1,000 ships a day? How do they create a whole new world of oil reserves from the sticky forest mud? They bring priceless old movies back to life. We show you how. Singapore is the busiest container port on the planet. This extraordinary place handles as many as 1,000 ships a day, carrying around 1.5 million tons of cargo. And getting them all in and out safely is a mammoth feat of organization. The port of Singapore, gateway to the Orient. When all the cars and TVs and hair tongs from the Far East set sail for Europe, most of them pass through here. The port handles close to 80,000 containers a day, carried in ships up to 400 meters long. One of those behemoths, the 267-meter-long container ship APL Denver, is waiting 1.5 kilometers offshore to make the approach for a berth, deep in the heart of the port. But before it can start docking the 55,000-ton ship, the Port Authority has to know exactly where she is. So 11 radars spread across Singapore keep track on as many as 5,000 vessels to an accuracy of 1 meter. Then there's a network of 1,100 cameras covering the 193 kilometers of coastline, so the guys at Mission Control get the complete picture. And this is Mission Control, the main port operations control center. This is the high-tech nerve center of Singapore, handled 20 billion tons of cargo. So even with the latest tracking and communication systems, the pressure is always on for traffic controllers like Lowenstein Gui.
At any one time, every day, at least 1,000 ships are just passing by through the Singapore Straits, and we try our best to ensure they have a safe passage. We have to manage all this outgoing and incoming traffic, so sometimes it's like a madhouse.
Before they know how to handle the Denver, they have to work out what type of vessel she is. A container vessel demands very different handling to an oil tanker. So as soon as the Denver entered Singaporean waters, the radio receivers of the Automatic Identification System, known as AIS, acquired the ship's unique identification number. Suddenly, a symbol pops up on the screen. There's a different symbol for each different kind of ship. The boxes here mean it's a container carrying cargo ship.
OPL vessel to come out and take them.
Any ship over 10,000 tons is way too large to come in without specialized local knowledge of the port. And the specialists are these guys, the elite pilots of the Port of Singapore. Young pilot Roy Feng has got the call to bring the 267-meter Denver into the most crowded section of the port.
Okay, which side is your pilot ladder?
But docking the Denver is going to be tricky. The ship needs to be unloaded from the starboard side. That means Roy has to put the huge vessel into a 3-point turn and then reverse it into its tight berth with millimeter accuracy.
Instead of normal berthing, which by we're going direct, we got to swing the ship and back down to the berth.
Tricky in a Mini, a whole lot harder in a 55,000-ton container ship.
I will hold your vessel off the outer shore area.
For the next hour, Roy will be in control of the monster ship. And seasoned seaman Captain Kaufman will be second in command.
We make a starboard swing.
Okay.
After that, we back down to the berth.
What about tugboat?
Tugboat will be on your port quarter. Capper, control, APL Denver.
APL Denver, this is Capper Control. Please proceed to outer shore beacon.
Okay, passing main fairway now.
Roy wants to crack on with his 3-point turn. But there's a 30,000-ton problem.
Ahead of you, Barry.
As the Denver heads in, there's a ship coming the other way, on a collision course. A mistake here would be disastrous, so Roy gets on with some speedy negotiation.
I've spoken to the pilot on board the mobilization. I will pass her starboard to starboard.
APL Denver, this is Capper Control. Permission granted. Please proceed.
Let's go. we agree to pass starboard to starboard. Once she's clear from us, then we make a swing. If we make a swing now, we'll be blocking the whole channel because of the length of the vessel. So we have to communicate with each other because it's a very confined area.
After the swift, evasive maneuver, he must now dock the Denver. There is no room for error. Roy's problem is that he must turn around a 267-metre-long vessel in a 335-metre-wide channel. If he used the propellers and rudder, he'd need over 1,000 metres of sea to turn the Denver. The solution: a tugboat uses its 3,600 horsepower to pull at the back, and the Denver's bow thrusters, sideways pointing propellers, push the front, spinning the vessel on the spot. But even with this precise control, a heavy gust of wind could cause a catastrophic collision with the dock, and you can't control the weather.
Everything looks very close, right?
The only thing to do is monitor the maneuver closely from the viewing platform outside the bridge.
You can feel the wind, feel everything. You can see better.
It's a tight fit, but finally the Denver is ready to reverse into its assigned bay.
Just to confirm, bow 75, sun 35,
Forward station and aft station, spring line, first line, please.
Stop engine.
Stop engine.
Station 23 meters.
A traffic cone with a flag on it gives Roy a reference point to bring the Denver in.
Gangway Watchman Bridge. Gangway Watchman Bridge. What about our gangway? Is it clear from the bollard?
Roy and the captain can breathe again.
That's the joy of a pilot. Yeah, wherever you do a good job, no matter how big the ship is, you feel great.
APL Denver, this is Skipper Control. Welcome to Singapore.
Within minutes, the cranes whir into life as the Denver's cargo is unloaded and a new cargo is loaded back on. And Roy is out. Green on a chopper's